The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of our Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Today's video is sponsored by The Coldest Water. The Coldest Water is a company that sells insulated water bottles that keep your drinks ice freezing cold all day long. They have different sizes. If you need something smaller than this, they have that. If you need something bigger than this, they have that just as well. And they also offer different colors because while I love blues and greens, that's literally my entire brand. Have y'all not caught on yet? But this is my color. This is perfect for me, but I know not everybody likes this color. They offer black, pink. Go look on the website. They have so many things to pick from. I highly recommend The Coldest Water. I have been using their products since 2020 and I have no complaints whatsoever. I would not be promoting something to y'all if I didn't think it was great. If you guys are interested in any of the products from The Coldest Water, link will be down below along with my code. Give you a little discount because you know we love discounts over here on the pirate ship. Thank you guys so much at The Coldest Water for sponsoring today's video. Now let's hop right back into it. It was the year 2007 or 2008. I'm pretty sure it was 2008. I don't know. But little Harry was very pissed off with her parents because Keke Palmer was doing a meet and greet in her city. And guess what? They wouldn't let her go. That's how far back my love for Keke Palmer goes. It was before she was in Jump In or she released her first album, which I still own. I actually own both of these things, by the way. But I have been a fan of her since my teacher told us that if we go and saw Akilah and the Bee in the theaters that we would get extra credit. And then I put two and two together that I realized that she was the girl in Medea's family reunion. Yeah, I watched a lot of Tyler Perry productions with my family growing up. But aside from Raven-Symoné, Tia and Tamara, Beyonce, Alicia Keys, Brandy, Keke Palmer was one of the first black celebrities I could actually say I was a stan of. I grew up in a household where my parents wanted me to know that I was black and to be proud of that. And because of that, so much of the media I consumed during the first 9 years of my life was black content. And I'm not saying that I didn't watch other things, because I most certainly did with the cartoons that I found myself getting attached to. Any token black girl or just a girl that was obviously not white. Y'all, I'm not even joking. If Starfire was white, my 5-year-old ass would most likely not have cared about her that much. And while I never saw R-rated black cinema like Friday, Baby Boy, and Set It Off until I was an adult, I watched all the somewhat age-appropriate black cinema that I could find. Which was not much if we're being real. We watched Jump In and Akilah and the Bee and Brandy's Cinderella all the time. Like, y'all, I'm not even joking when I say Brandy's Cinderella was the one I watched all the time until Selena Gomez's came out. The Proud Family, Sister Sister, and Smart Guy reruns were always on our TV. We would tune in every Friday for the new episode of That's a Raven. And same with Class of 3000 when it did air on Cartoon Network. All my dolls were black and Latina dolls. Chloe and Jade, Brad's dolls, never stood foot in our house. Like, we just had Sasha's, Yasmin's, or any other black or brown doll that the Bratz team had released. And I was made to believe that black was beautiful at such a young age. Keke Palmer was always a star to me. A lot of the self-hatred I built within myself was because I wasn't seeing people like me anymore on my screen, or the representation for black and brown girls was just straight up ass cheeks. Like, was it just me, or did these networks become like white and mean as hell at like a certain point? Like, the Proud Family and That's So Raven were over. Sister Sisters stopped playing reruns. Disney wasn't releasing movies with many black people in them. Like, we had The Princess and the Frog, loved that movie, but that wasn't enough because she wasn't even a fucking human for most of the film and got overshadowed by Tangled and also the white girl in her movie. Total Drama was very out the ass, let's just say that. Lashawna's character was a joke, Courtney got treated like shit, and Katie was barely there. Before anybody tries to say, oh, they had better representation for black and brown girls in the later seasons, we're talking about 2008 to 2010. No. Those people didn't exist yet. It was a weird time for black and brown girls during this period of children and family entertainment because we barely had anyone who looked like us on our screens represented in a positive way. The only person we had at that time period that was being portrayed in an okay manner was Keke Palmer, because she had gotten her own show on Nickelodeon called True Jackson VP. And as I've gotten older, True Jackson VP is a show that I realized that I liked because I liked Keke Palmer and because it revolved around fashion. Like, Keke carried that show, and I would get excited just to see how she was going to wear her hair and outfits for the particular episode. While I do find the show to be a bit dull outside of Keke's character and the fashion world, I do appreciate what the show did for me during this time period of when I was beginning to internalize anti-blackness within me, because I was seeing such horrible representation for black and brown girls on screen and barely seeing us there to begin with. Like, yeah, I had Hannah Montana, I watched that shit all the time, but Amber was the bully. And as the first 3 seasons of Total Drama being out, all the black and brown girls were treated like shit. Kelly in Big Time Rush was always being pushed around by white people. It was a truly weird time to be a black girl at this stage, where so much of the content on my screen was just people being mean to black girls and women. But Keke Palmer was always there to remind me that I shouldn't be ashamed of who I am in middle school. Keke Palmer was always there to remind me that I shouldn't be ashamed of who I am. In middle school, I started to sneak and watch things that I should not have been watching, like the Boondocks, because I was just getting so fucking tired of not seeing people like me on my screen, or people not represented in a good manner. And to help with this, I was allowed to start watching The Parkers and Moesha, which are 2 shows that I really do love. But one thing about watching Moesha is that I couldn't help but think how much Brandy reminded me of Keke Palmer. As she could sing, she can act, and she was the star of her own show. Like, if we're being real, Brandy is kind of like the Keke Palmer of the 90s, if that makes sense. But she's her own person just as well. Like, she's her own Brandy, Keke is her own Keke. Anyway, but around this time, my ass was still checking for Keke Palmer's new releases. Rags was played on our TV all the time whenever Nickelodeon aired it, and I was seated. Keke Palmer has always been famous to me, but I realized that she falls into this category of celebrities only black people know for the longest. You know, celebrities only black people know because black people were the main ones who watched the shows with them in it, and you usually know them by character name and not their real name. Like Professor Ogilvy from The Parkers, you either knew Tashina Arnold as Pam from Martin or Rochelle from Everybody Hates Chris. And for the longest, people called Tyler James Williams Everybody Hates Chris. Also, Tyler James Williams is somebody who's always been famous to me, but we could talk about him another time. But one thing about those people is that they were all in movies and shows that were on networks. and such that were catered towards black people. But last time I checked, Keke Palmer was in stuff that was made for black people, but was also in stuff that was made for everyone. You know, air quote, white people mainly. Along with Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, as we know how white those networks are. What I don't understand is that Keke Palmer has been booked and busy for over a fucking decade, and I'm not even exaggerating. Go look at her credit list. Keke Palmer is not this new celebrity that people are making her out to be. She's been everywhere, and she was a bigger part of y'all's childhood more than y'all realize. But y'all chose to ignore her. Y'all chose not to give her her flowers until much, much later. I got so annoyed this morning when I checked the news and it said rising star Keke Palmer, and excuse the fuck out of me, but Keke Palmer is not a rising star. She's been a star. The reason y'all are saying that is because white people are finally starting to see her worth. And I absolutely cannot stand how many black celebrities don't get the credit they deserve until white people start noticing them. Like Cheryl Lee Ralph, another black celebrity who has always been famous to me. Didn't start to get the credit that she deserved until she got on a show that caught the attention of white people. And y'all, it's not even with just traditional celebrities. It happens with YouTubers and influencers too. Like, I'll take Miss Jackiana for example. I am pretty sure that she is the only black influencer that plenty white people know about. And you go and ask a black person to name 10 black influencers and they will be able to do it with no problem. White people most likely will not, but they'll say Jackiana. Because a lot of black influencers have not caught the eye of white people, at least not yet like Jackiana did. Keke Palmer has finally caught the eye of white people, and that's why she is finally getting her flowers that she should have been receiving from everyone since she was in Akeelah and the Bee. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry, I got so pissed off this morning when I saw that. I don't even wake up this early. That's how I know. I don't know. I just woke up mad today. But I just woke up and I saw that and I was like, let me make something out of this because I'm mad and I have a sponsorship, so I needed to get that made. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I highly do appreciate it. You guys want to know ways you can support me? I have Patreon, I have Buy Me a Coffee, I have donation links for my web show, and all of that jazz now below. I have 2 books coming out on my website, harriyannahook.com, harriyannahook.com for merchandise. Don't forget to follow me on everything at Harriyanna, HARIYANNA. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a good night. 'Cause I work hard to get to this point in my life. I'm blowing up, so don't hate, just congratulate. The Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay.